From William Stickevers, Strategic Astrological Advisor.
The September 2025 Eclipse, A Systemic Purge, and the Dawn of a New World Order by William Stickevers. As an astrologer who focuses intently on mundane and geopolitical cycles, my perspective on the September 21st, 2025 partial solar eclipse is that it functions as a critical trigger point and culmination of crises related to global health, labor, and economic integrity. This is not a subtle event. It is a line in the sand, a moment when illusions crumble and realities demand confrontation. The astrological signature, a system at its breaking point. My mundane forecast is centered on three key astrological signatures. First, the eclipse is at 29 degrees Virgo. In mundane astrology, the final degree of a sign signifies maximum tension and the terminal exhaustion of a cycle. It is a crisis degree where systems can no longer be patched. They must break or transform. With Virgo ruling the working class, civil services, public health systems, and military organizations, this eclipse spotlights sectors at their breaking point. Not minor reforms, convulsions are more likely, mass labor strikes capable of paralyzing economies, public health institutions collapsing or forced into radical reinvention, or military scandals so corrosive they trigger purges of leadership. Second, it opposes retrograde Saturn in Pisces. This alignment signals an unforgiving reality check. Saturn in Pisces brings dissolution, hidden debts, and karmic accounting for collective delusions. Opposed by a Virgo eclipse, it acts like a scalpel. Denial is cut away, corruption surfaces, and structures long held up by narrative support begin to unspool. Third, it's a South Node eclipse. As a South Node eclipse, this moment symbolizes release, karmic closure, and the undoing of what no longer serves. Geopolitically, it points toward the fall of entrenched leaders, the disintegration of alliances forged in the mid-20th century, and the purging of outdated institutions. History will not politely evolve forward. It will burn away what has outlived its function. The diagnostic window, pre-shock events reveal the narrative. The 10 days before the eclipse form a diagnostic window that reveals its nature. From September 7th onward, the world delivered unmistakable signs. 1. Virgo-Pisces axis, health, toxicity, and environmental crisis. Mercury poisoning in the Amazon. The poisoning of the Amazon's food chain, harming dolphins and humans alike, could not be more literal. Virgo rules health and food purity. Pisces rules oceans and hidden poisons, its nature echoing the archetype, a poison system with rot that runs deep. 2. Saturn in Pisces, dissolution of order and geopolitical instability, escalation in the Middle East. Israel's unprecedented strike on Hamas leaders in Qatar shattered the illusion of traditional rules of engagement. This indicates a dangerous slide into boundaryless conflict. Brazil's former president sentenced. Here, Saturn delivers karmic justice for an attempted coup. The past comes due, and chaos makers face consequences. 3. Mercury themes: information, assassination, and political rhetoric. Assassination of Charlie Kirk. The assassination of a political communicator on a university campus is a chilling manifestation of Mercury's darker face. It signals the weaponization of information, the lethal consequences of rhetoric, and the radicalization brewing in our digital echo chambers. CDC and FBI turmoil. Civil service institutions meant to safeguard the public now exposed as arenas of mistrust and politicization. Virgo's promise of order becomes chaos. 4. Sun-Saturn opposition, economic jitters and leadership pressure. Federal Reserve cuts interest rates. Pressured into a desperate move, the Fed signaled economic fragility hidden beneath market highs. This foreshadows the financial shockwaves the eclipse is positioned to unleash. Speculative forecasts, potential manifestations of the eclipse. Astrology identifies the archetypal weather, not the specific lightning strikes. However, a configuration this powerful points toward specific, high-probability manifestations. As we stand on the precipice of this event, do not be surprised if one or more of the following scenarios dominate global headlines in the days and weeks immediately following the eclipse. First, a public health bombshell, a major whistleblower leak from within the WHO CDC, or a major pharmaceutical company reveals irrefutable proof of data manipulation or collusion regarding a global health policy or vaccine efficacy. This could shatter public trust and trigger the ousting of high-level officials and calls for a complete overhaul. Second, financial contagion via a major bank failure. The sudden and spectacular collapse of a major systemically important European or Japanese bank. This would not be a controlled failure, but a chaotic event that triggers a credit freeze and a crisis of confidence that central banks struggle to contain. Third, the fracture of a keystone alliance, a major public schism within NATO. For example, a member formalizing a defense economy pact that conflicts with Article 5 expectations, rendering a core tenet functionally obsolete and signaling the alliance's dissolution in practice. Fourth, a gray zone act of war, a crippling cyber attack on critical infrastructure, such as a major global shipping ports logistics network, a primary stock exchange, or an undersea internet cable that causes massive, tangible disruption to the global economy. The attack will be sophisticated and its origin officially deniable, escalating international tensions to a new level. Fifth, the fall of a legacy leader. The sudden, unexpected removal from power of a long-standing head of state in a major G20 nation. This could manifest through a shocking scandal, a sudden health crisis, or an internal political coup, creating a power vacuum that destabilizes the entire region. Sixth, a global food supply crisis, the simultaneous failure of a major grain harvest in a key breadbasket nation, combined with a major shipping or logistical breakdown. This could lead to sudden export bans and a spike in food prices that triggers riots and instability in import-dependent nations. Conclusion, the Great Clearing. The September 2025 eclipse acts as a cosmic hammer, purging illusions, dismantling what cannot last, and forcing systems to fail under strain. Leaders clinging to obsolete power, fragile economies, and outdated alliances are all set for collapse. This eclipse marks a violent but necessary purge, clearing the ground for the Saturn-Neptune conjunction and the birth of a new world order. It is not gentle change, but the death of the old and the emergence of the new. Survival will demand resilience, discernment, and radical clarity.
For nearly 4 decades, William Stickevers has empowered business leaders, independent thinkers, and visionaries to navigate global shifts and critical turning points with clarity and confidence. His unique blend of advanced astrological techniques, macroeconomic insights, and strategic forecasting equips clients to stay ahead of the curve and thrive in uncertain times. Discover how William's in-depth forecasts, programs, and astrological consultations can help you make more confident, well-timed decisions and recognize opportunities others overlook. Visit williamstickevers.com for your strategic advantage in business, finances, and life.